Namaskar friends, welcome to the channel JAIIB and CAIIB Made Simple. Are you looking for study material for prevention of cyber crime and fraud management? Do you want to revise the entire syllabus in one go? You are at the right place because in this video we are going to revise the entire cyber crime syllabus in just 1 to 2 hours, right? So in this video we are going to move from module D in the reverse order, looking at the importance of module. If you look at the question paper being set up by the IIBF, they gave more emphasis on module D. That's why we are starting from module D, and I will explain you in the layman term possible main points, key points. Just give me 1 to 2 hours, you revise it and you will be able to get 50 marks is guaranteed if you go through the entire video at once, because all the points have been covered in the lucid manner. So let's get started. Did you know that every single click you make online has a legal side to it? That is where cyber law came in, your digital shield in today's online world. Cyber law is also called the law of the internet. It governs everything that we do online, from banking transaction to email, from social media to e-commerce. In short, it is protected. Right, what it matters? Why it matters? Because it helps fight the identity theft. You can see, it helps fight the identity theft, fraud, hacking, phishing, even protect your personal data and privacy. Without cyber law, the internet would be like a city with no traffic rule, full of chaos. Now cyber law covers 4 major areas that you must know. Cyber crime, which is the rule against hacking, phishing, online fraud. E-signature. E-signature means what? Proving authenticity in online deal. That is called electronic signature. Intellectual property right, or we call it IPR, which means saving copyrights, patents, trademarks. That is called intellectual property right. Data protection and privacy, which means guarding your sensitive information. That is called data protection. In India, the backbone of cyber law is the Information Technology Act 2000, right, which was enforced on 17th October 2000. Its goals are clear: to give legal recognition for e-transaction, to allow electronic record for government filing, and to punish cyber crime under the IPC. So friends, cyber law is a digital shield. It fights cyber crime, it validates e-signature, it protects intellectual property, it secures data. In India, the IT Act 2000 make it all possible. So the next time you shop, you bank, or you share your information online, thank cyber law for keeping you safe. Now friends, IT Act. So crime done on a computer can be punished in India, even if the person is abroad. Want to know how and why? Let's go through the IT Act. You know, the IT Act in the year 2000, they make the internet a place with rules. It protects the e-transaction, data, punishes crime. So what the IT Act does? It gives legal value to the electronic record and e-signature. It set penalties for online fraud. It updates the other law so that they work in the digital world. It even let the government block app or sites for security reason. So these are the things that the government can also do using the IT Act. Now the key points to remember is that, e-commerce and e-sign, right? This is a very important thing. Electronic commerce and electronic sign, which means online deal are legally valid. Penalties, which means hacking, data theft, online fraud, they can get you prosecuted. Law update. So law update means what? It changed rule in IPC and evidence law, so court accept the digital proof. If you look at the section number 66A, a big controversy came in 2008. Section number 66A punished people for posting offensive online content, up to 3 years in jail. But the word used were vague. What is offensive to one person may not be to another. Why people opposed it? Because critics says that it used unclear terms. It could be misused to silence critics and journalists. It threatened free speech online. Because of this misuse, court later struck it down, removed it. So section 66A was removed. Right. Now, what we learned here that, IT Act make digital deal legal plus punishes crime, punishes cyber crime. Section number 66 says vague law, misused, now abolished. Now friends, let's look at the next slide. Right. So basically, did you know that Indian government can ban app or block website in the name of national security? Let's decode how. First of all, section number 66A, just now I told you, which was added in the year 2008. It allowed arrest for posting offensive online content. But what is offensive to me may not be to you, right? So it was too vague. So in 2015, what happened? Shreya Singhal versus Union of India case, the Supreme Court struck it down. Why? Because it violated the free speech under the article number 19 subsection 1A, right? So government power. Next comes section number 69A. This gives the government power to monitor or block, online content for national security, defense, or public order. That's why app like TikTok and other Chinese app were banned. TikTok app was banned because they were a threat to the online security. Unlike the old Telegraph Act of 1885, there was an old Telegraph Act of 1885, right, which allowed phone tapping only during emergency. Section number 69A has no such limit for internet content. Friends, if you are looking for a study material for the upcoming cybercrime fraud prevention of cybercrime and fraud management examination, you can check out the description section of the video. I have added the link of the course. In the course, you get unit-wise short notes, concise notes, such kind of PDFs. You get 2000 plus MCQs covering all the important aspects throughout the syllabus. If you cover only that much, more than enough. It also includes previous year question, memory-based questions, and quick revision PDF. All these things you get for a nominal fee. For more detail, you can WhatsApp me on the number 8292857381, or in the description section of the video, you can get the link of the course. Now let's continue our discussion regarding the legal standing. The Supreme Court has upheld the section number 69A, saying that national security come before individual privacy. So it is legally strong, but also very powerful. And section number 79. Let's look at it. Then comes section 79. It deals with online intermediary like social media platform. The 2018 rule made them responsible for removing unlawful content and cooperating with the government order. So what we have learned in this slide, section number 66A was the vague, was misused and struck down. Section number 69A was the power to block the site app upheld by ISC. Supreme Court upheld it. And then section number 79, which includes the rule for platform like Facebook, WhatsApp and YouTube. So whenever you hear about app ban or content takedown, now you know the law behind it. I hope this helps you understand the basic concept. Now intermediary liability. Let's talk about it. So friends, have you ever wondered why WhatsApp or Facebook sometimes remove posts or haven't share data with the government? The answer lies in the intermediary liability under the Act. What is this intermediary? Simple. Intermediary are the platform like ISP, search engine, social media app. They don't create content but enable us to access or share it. The law says that they must act responsibly and follow the government rule. So these rule made platform more accountable, right? They break encryption to trace message origin. They remove unlawful content within 24 hours. They store data for 180 days for investigation. The goal is simple: to fight fake news, mob violence, and online crime. Now the question is why legal backing? So critics says that these rule invade privacy and expand surveillance. But the Supreme Court has supported them in the key case like Tehseen S. Poonawalla case, right? So in this case, government can curb dangerous messages that trigger mob violence. In the case of Prajwal Letter case, so platform must remove child exploitation content. So the law tried to balance security, accountability and digital freedom. Then we have IT Act 2000 Code Future. Remember, the IT Act was India's first digital law. It gave legal recognition to e-contract, digital signature, and set penalty for cybercrime like hacking and cyber terrorism. Now, so what we learned here that intermediary are the social media or ISP must follow, right? And the IT guidelines 2018 was regarding the tracing message, removing unlawful content, and ensuring the data. Supreme Court cases supported for safety and child protection, and IT Act 2000 said that e-document is valid and punishes the cybercrime. So the next time you see a post taken down, remember it's not just the platform, it is a law behind it. I hope it helped you understand the basic concept. Now let's talk about the taxation aspect of it. One more aspect is the taxation. And remember, the original act comprised of 94 sections. Right? How many sections are there? 94 sections, 13 chapter and 4 schedule, laying the foundation for Indian cyber law. Now friends, let's switch our focus to the electronic transaction and taxation issue. So, did you sell online or shop digitally? Then listen up. E-commerce transactions have a special tax rule that you must know. In simple word, if you sell via an online platform, the e-commerce operator deduct 1% TDS on your gross sale. So net gross sale, net of return. For example, suppose your sale is 30 lakh. Okay, return is 5 lakh. So TDS will apply on 5 lakh, not 25 lakh. Deduction happen either when the money is credited to your account or when it is paid, whichever come first. Then only deduction happen, right? So TDS at the rate 1% must be deducted by e-commerce operator on the gross sale value. Some key definitions are e-commerce. So as you can see, 30 lakh sales, return or 5 lakh. So TDS always apply on the sale. Please remember it. It will apply on the 30 lakh. What is the meaning of e-commerce operator? Anyone managing an online platform is called e-commerce operator. It may be resident, it may be non-resident. What is the meaning of e-commerce participant? Means Indian residents selling goods and service via the platform. They are called e-commerce participant. Now we have the case. So remember, if the participant is a non-resident, no TDS will apply. You can see clearly written here. If the participant is non-resident, in that case no TDS apply. Right, tax deduction at source apply. Now why it matters, because these rules make sure that online seller pay taxes properly, keeping India's digital economy compliant and fair. Right, so these rules ensure that online seller they pay tax properly, keeping India's digital economy compliant and fair. So what we have discussed here, we have talked about the section number 194O introduced by the Finance Act. What this section is all about? This is about 1% TDS on gross sale. It applied to Indian seller via platform, deducted when credited or paid. Non-resident seller, no TDS. Remember, for non-resident seller, there is no TDS. Please remember this fact. I hope this helps you understand the basic concept. Now, let's look at the TDS and equalization levy. Yes, let's talk about this. TDS and equalization levy on e-commerce transaction. So friends, selling online or doing digital advertising, here is a quick guide to the TDS and equalization levy. Any payment made by a buyer to an online seller through a platform is treated as if the e-commerce operator paid it. That's called deemed payment. Remember the word deemed payment. Any payment made by the buyer to an online seller through a platform is treated as if the e-commerce operator paid it. That's called deemed payment. But there is an exemption. No TDS if the seller is an individual or an HUF with annual sale less than or equal to 5 lakh, except for advertisement. Important point is that TDS apply even if the buyer is non-resident, but not if the seller sell there through the website, right? So TDS, suppose the buyer is non-resident, then also TDS is applied. But it is not applicable if the participants sell through their own website. Now what about the equalization levy? So which is section number 165 introduced by the Finance Act 2016. So this is a tax for online advertising payment to the foreign company. It apply when a resident or non-resident with a PE, with a permanent establishment, that's called PE, with permanent establishment in India paid a non-resident without PE. Right. So suppose a resident or non-resident with a PE in India pays a non-resident without permanent establishment. Payment exceed 1 lakh rupees per year. Or tax rate is 6% of the payment. Remember these key points. So what we have discussed in this slide, remember TDS as per the section number 195O is 1% on the gross sale via platform. Exemptions for a small seller. Deemed payment, I told you, the meaning of deemed payment is, buyer pays, treated like an operator payment. Right, whatever buyer pay, they are treated like an operator payment. Equalization levy means, 6% on foreign online ad, which is more than 1 lakh rupees per year. Now, let's talk about the liability. So friends, are you an e-commerce operator or selling digital service? Here is just 60-second guides to equalization levy as per the section number 165A. So what does this section number 165A takes you? That it is a 2% tax on payment received by e-commerce operator from resident in India, from certain non-resident or buyer using an Indian IP address. So this is a 2% tax on payment which is received by any person, by any e-commerce operator. And a specific case include targeted ads. There are some advertisement that targeting Indian user, sale of data collected from Indian user. But remember this key condition. Remember these points apply if the annual turnover exceed 2 crore. Operator is responsible for paying the levy. Rate is the 2% of the consideration received. 2% consideration you have to pay as a tax, right, under the section number 165A. Right. What are the exemptions where it is not applicable? It is not applicable if the operator has a permanent establishment in India or PE in India. And if it is not applicable if the transaction fall under the section number 165, which is about digital advertising. And it is for personal ad. If it is personal ad, not applicable. So remember the quick revision points. Section number 165A A, just now we told you, it is about 2% tax on e-commerce payment to operator. It is applied to Indian user and Indian user. It apply on Indian user or Indian IP address. Turnover should exceed 2 crore, right? And exemption is P in India, section number 165 transaction and personal ad. These are the 3 exemptions. Now let's talk about the GST provision for an e-commerce operator. So friends, is selling online through platform like Amazon or Flipkart. So basically we are talking about the TCS, tax collection at the source. Let's have a look. Who collect TCS? E-commerce operator collect TCS on taxable supplies made through their platform when they collect money on the behalf of seller. See, e-commerce platform like Flipkart, like Amazon, these are the e-commerce platform. They collect TCS on taxable supplies made through their platform. So whatever taxable supply made through their platform, they collect TCS. So they collect money on the behalf of the seller. What is the rule of TCS? The rule are very simple. That if it is an intra-state sale, then 0.5% CGST plus 0.5% SGST on net taxable value. If it is what is the meaning of intra-state? Means within the same state, and inter-state means between 2 different states. That's called inter. So if it is an inter-state sale, then 1% IGST on the next taxable value, and the net taxable value is the total sale minus return. Now what about the compliance and filing? So remember, operator must follow the filing rule. Pay TCS within 10 days after the month end. So after suppose month is ending on September 30th, right? You have to pay that within 10 days TCS statement, and submit monthly TCS statement within 10 days after the month end, and file annual statement by December 31st of the next financial year. So remember, the keywords is that TCS collected by platform on the behalf of the seller. On the behalf of the seller, TCS is collected by the platform. 0.5% CGST, 0.5% SGST for intra-state, 1% for IGST for inter-state. Then net taxable value is the sale minus the revenue. Whatever you have sold, whatever revenue you got, subtract both of them, right? That give you the net taxable value. And payment and statement are to be made monthly, and annual filing by 31st December. Remember this key data. Now friends, let's switch our focus to the next point that we have. So selling or providing services online. Let's quickly decode how GST and TCS rule affect e-commerce operator and supplier. So supplier can claim TCS credit in their electronic cash ledger. Also, supplier outward supply must match data reported by the e-commerce operator. Now e-commerce operator must pay 100% GST on certain services, even if the service provider is not registered. For example, passenger transport, 100% GST, right? E-commerce pay GST. Hotels, e-commerce pay only if the hotel is not registered. Now service like plumbing, housekeeping, e-commerce pay if the service provider is not registered. So in some case, if it is not registered, then they have to pay. If the hotel is registered, not liable. If the hotel is not registered, it is liable. You can see that's why registration is so much essential. Now let's see the difference between TDS and TCS. So basically, income tax section number 195, 194, which says that e-commerce deduct TCS on payment to the seller. What is the meaning of eco? Eco means e-commerce. So e-commerce, deduct TDS on payment to the seller. So whenever e-commerce pay to the seller, they deduct TCS or TDS upfront. And GST, in the case of GST Act, what it says that e-commerce collect TCS on the same transaction. So operator have to manage both the taxes, right? Basically this is a kind of overlapping obligation. So what we have discussed here, just let me remind you that supplier, they can claim TCS credit plus match supply. E-commerce pay GST if provider is unregistered. Whenever provider is unregistered, e-commerce has to pay GST, right? Like passenger transport, hotels, and services, etc. And then TDS, income tax versus TCS GST, dual compliance for operator. So friends, have you ever wondered why hacker hack? Let's quickly uncover the mind of cyber criminal and how to protect yourself. So cyber criminal often share these traits. They are impulsivity, they are thrill seeking, means they act for excitement, ignoring the consequence, lack of empathy, they don't care about the victims, high intelligence, and creativity. They exploit security gap with advanced skill. Now what are the motivation behind cybercrime? It could be financial gain, like stealing money, data, or demand ransom. Then we have the personal satisfaction. Ego boost from breaking into security system. If you break into the security system, your ego will boost up. Then hacktivism, which means driven by political or ideological belief. Then how to prevent the cybercrime. See, to stay online, we should use a strong password and two-factor authentication. Update software regularly and user about the cyber risk. And update software regularly to fix vulnerabilities. Educate employee and user about the cyber risk. Deploy advanced security tool like firewall and intrusion detector. Now personality and cyber security. People behave differently online. Tailoring cyber security strategy to user behavior strengthen the overall protection. So what we have discussed here, first point, cyber criminals are impulsive, ego driven, intelligent. Motivations are money, personal thrill, hacktivism. How to prevent it? We should have a strong password, update, awareness, advanced tool, etc. Now let's talk about the personality trait, personality and cyber security. So friends, did you know that your personality can affect how safe you are online? Let's break it down under the 5 big traits in just a minute. So let's see how each trait influence online behavior. First is the openness. Curious and creative, good at spotting suspicious activity, but can fail for phishing scam. That's called openness. Concitousness, which means disciplined and organized, follows security rule, reduces the cyber risk. Then we have extraversion, which means social and outgoing, great network, may be tricked by social engineering. Agreeableness, which means trusting and cooperative, may be vulnerable to manipulation. And then we have neuroticism, which means anxious and emotional, can act impulsively, increasing risk online. So knowing these traits help tailor cyber security awareness and protective strategy for different type of user. So friends, openness means curious, phishing risk pattern detection. Concitousness means disciplined, follow the rules. Extraversion means social engineering risk. Agreeableness means trusting, manipulation risk. Neuroticism is impulsive, higher cyber threat. Friends, did you know that your personality can affect how safe you are online? Let's explore the key trait. So I think we have discussed this point, right? Concitousness. This is a very important characteristics, right? So a strength are, what are the strength of concitousness? That, organized, disciplined, follow rules, update software, use a strong password. But the risk are, achievement driven mindset, may fall for phishing scam, promising success, especially under pressure. Then we have, social and vulnerable, which means outgoing, assertive, promote security awareness, reported breach risk. And, there is something called agreeableness, trusting yet aware. So strength are, cooperative. Agreeableness means, cooperative, detect deception will, actively report threat, and trusting nature may make them fall for phishing scam, framed as call for help. So concitousness means disciplined, strong password, phishing task. Extraversion means social, report threat, social engineering task. Agreeableness means cooperative, detect deception, and trusting. Let's talk about the cyber crime. Cyber compliance. How do we do the cyber compliance? Let's decode the cyber compliance in very simple words. So whenever I say this word cyber compliance, what it means following law, following regulations and industry standard to protect the data. That is all cyber compliance is all about. So for example, financial institution, they follow PCIDSS, right? Why they follow PCIDSS? For credit card safety. So that is followed by the financial institution. And this retail and e-commerce platform, they comply with PCI DSS for online platform. Now why cyber compliance is essential? So the key benefits of cyber compliance are following: that it protects the sensitive data, which means stop breaches, financial loss and reputational damage. Meet the legal obligation, means avoid fine and legal trouble. Build customer trust, which means shows commitment to security, boosting confidence. So as technology grow, cyber compliance is not just a rule, rather it is a strategy for success and credibility. So friends, what we have discussed in this slide, cyber compliance means following law and standards. They protect data, they avoid penalties, they build trust. It is very critical for finance, retail and e-commerce, right? So stay compliant, stay trusted. Next slide that we have, as you can see in the screen right now. So if you want to keep your business and data safe online, let's break down the cyber compliance and cyber security in the context of India. So compliance is not just about following law. It strengthens security. It identify and fix vulnerability. which means regular check help plug weak spots. It secures cyber insurance, which means many policies require compliance. Non-compliance can lead to claim denial. Then if you look at the cyber security in the context of India, with technology booming, cyber threats are growing. India is reinforcing security through a strong cyber law, which means updated rules that protect the personal data through corporate and consumer protection, which means shield business and citizen from digital threat. And let's talk about this global investment hub. So friends, this is a robust cyber security which attract international investment. So what we have talked in this slide, that cyber compliance, it does two things. First of all, it fixes the vulnerabilities, and second thing is that it meet the insurance rule. Whatever the insurance rule is met by the cyber compliance. And India, as to the context of India, I told you that India has strengthened cyber security via law, consumer protection and global standards. Three things are there: law, consumer protection and global standards. And last point is, it is cyber security is very much essential to safeguard data, businesses and national security. So that's why stay secure, stay smart, they're very essential. Now wondering how India keep its digital world safe, let's quickly break down cyber security compliance regulation in India. Now India regulates service provider data centers and intermediary under the IT rule 2013. So service provider data centers and intermediary are governed or regulated under the cyber security compliance and regulation, IT rule 2013. So basically all cyber breaches must be reported to CERTIN. Full form is Computer Emergency Response Team. This question was asked in the recently held examination, that what is this CERTIN. So please remember the answer, that all the kinds of cyber breaches, they must be reported to CERTIN. One more point is that the IT Act was India's first cyber law, but new threat brings challenges like jurisdiction issues were there, cyber crime cross borders complicating enforcement, and evidence preservation was another challenge. So which means securing digital evidence across country is very tough. So to cover the gaps, right, there were gaps, you can easily see evidence preservation, jurisdiction issue. So to cover the legal gaps, the key authority enforce cyber security norms like DOT, that is Department of Telecommunication. They govern the telecom service provider. RBI for bank and financial institution. SEBI regulates market entities, right? So these are the sector specific regulations. DOT for telecommunication, telecom provider, RBI for banks and financial institutions, SEBI for market entities, plus the IPC provide legal backing for most cyber crime. So what we have learned just now, that IT rule 2013 is a real time reporting to CERTIN. Yes, real time reporting. Whenever such kinds of threat occurs or emerge, they has to be immediately reported to CERTIN, right? Computer Emergency Response Team. Challenges is cross border crime plus evidence issue. Who are the regulators? DOT, RBI, SEBI. They are the regulator. So stay aware, stay protected, right? Now let's look at the tribunal power and PCIDSS compliance. So friends, want to know how tribunal work like courts and how digital payment stay safe? So tribunal power. So tribunal have power similar to civil courts. They can summon and examine witness, means hearing under oath, access electronic record, which means review all the relevant document, demand evidence on affidavit by strengthening the case, right? Then we have issue commission, which means examine document and witnesses, review and dismiss decision, which means scrutinize cases and act against the defaulter. So we talk about the PCIDSS. With online payment rising, PCIDSS ensures security. It applies to all online transaction entities, right? Enforced by Visa, MasterCard, Amex, Discover, etc. No government fine, which means it focus on the best security practices. It boosts the customer trust. Company following PCIDSS gain credibility and protect the customer data. Now, so what we have discussed just now, that tribunal means summon witness, access record, issue commission, review cases. PCIDSS is secure credit card transaction, build trust, follow industry standard. Okay, that is the main role of this PCIDSS, that to have a secure credit card transaction. And just now I told you, full form you must know, PCIDSS is Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard. They apply to all kind of online transaction, right? No government mandate, no government fine, right? So what we have discussed in this slide, I told you that tribunal, summon witness, access record, issue commission, review cases, and PCI DSS is they ensure secure credit card transaction, etc. Now let's look at the RBI Act 2018. What does it say? Let's understand. So friends, wondering that how India keep bank and insurers safe from cyber threat. So to manage the IT risk, RBI set cyber security rule for urban cooperative bank, that is called UCB. Like cyber security policy approval, which means board must approve the documented policy. Comprehensive risk assessment, which means evaluate the technology, digital product and delivery channel. Advanced incident response, which means detect and fix the cyber intrusion beyond a standard recovery plan. And IRDA, Insurance and Regulatory and Development Authority. So IRDA, guideline for insurance sector. So what is the guideline? IRDA ensure insurers are protected with mitigating the internal and external threat, which means preventing fraud and data breaches, that is called internal and external threat, ensuring business continuity, which means strengthen the recovery plan, and addressing the key cyber risk. What does it mean? It means that some kind stop the online fraud, data leak, IPR issue, ransomware attack, etc. So what we have discussed, that RBI for UCB, RBI says that UCB Urban Cooperative Bank must have approved policy, risk assessment, fast incident response, right? And then IRDA, which protect insurer from internal and external threat. IRDA, Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority, that is called IRDA, right? So friends, know the rule, stay secure, that is the point. Now DOT is strengthening the cyber security and data privacy. So friends, curious how India keep your data safe on phone and in financial market? So let's break it down quickly. The Department of Telecommunication strengthen the cyber security and privacy. Department of Telecommunication, Digital Communication Regulatory Authority. So DCRA, right? So what they do? Basically TRAI rebranded with more power. Layered consent, which means, what is the meaning of layered consent? It means what, companies collect only essential data with consent. Then user control data, which means consumer can manage, restrict or withdraw the consent. Then we have collaboration with IT ministry. It ensures secure data processing and privacy protection. What is the SEBI guideline? SEBI, Security and Exchange Board of India. So SEBI ensure that financial market entities are cyber secure. How? By depository participants and stockbroker. They must follow the security mandate given under the December 3, 2018, which was issued on the December 3, 2018. This was regarding the depository participant and stockbroker. A stock exchange, mutual fund and clearing corporation subject to a strict regulation. AMC, which means Asset Management Company and Depository. They comply with the SEBI cyber security framework. So friends, DOT ensures secure telecom, consent-based data, user control, IT ministry collaboration. SEBI is secure financial market, broker, exchanges. AMC follow a strict rule. Now, SEBI is strengthening the financial data security. So friends, want to know how India and global framework protect your financial and medical data? So SEBI introduced a strict rule to safeguard the customer. On December 3, 2018, the guideline was issued for depository participant and stockbroker. On December 7, 2018, clearing corporation, stock exchange and depository. On January 10, 2019, asset management company and mutual fund. Now there is something called HIPAA, that is protecting the medical data. So this HIPAA, full form, Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, that is called HIPAA. So it ensures that healthcare privacy, it prevents unauthorized access to to patent record, enforces basic cyber security like access control, virus protection, firewall for healthcare organization. Then we have SANS 20, which is a robust cyber defense. SANS 20 framework help organization defend against cyber threat. By how? How defending against cyber threat? By prioritizing and strengthening the cyber security with practical scalable measures, by improving the cyber defense. So SEBI protect financial entity. HIPAA, full form is HIPAA, just now we have seen. Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. So they secure medical records, they prevent unauthorized access. SANS 20, SANS 20, just now I told you, that is the SANS Institute. So basically they prioritize and implement the strong cyber defense. Now let's talk about the foundation of the security framework. Yes, here we are. So friends, want to know how organizations secure data apps, right? And digital payment. Let's break it down in simple term. So friends, that foundation of the security framework. How the foundation of security framework comes into the picture, let's understand. So global cyber security standard form the backbone of data protection. They form the backbone of data protection, right? So PCIDSS 3.1, NIST 8853, ISO 27002, and CSA, HIPAA. They provide essential guideline for securing data and meeting the compliance. There's something called OWASP Top 20. So this is a gold standard for web app security. It fixes vulnerabilities. It identifies the vulnerability and fixes them. Then strengthen the coding culture, which means encourage developer to prioritize security in every step of development. Then we have the KYC, that is combating digital payment fraud. So with digital payment booming in India, KYC is the key. You know what is KYC? Know your customer, right? Track and secure customer journey, ensure trust, ensure safety. Then future-proof anti-fraud technology, which means compliant logically and locally and globally. Then minimizing the payment fraud, which means reducing the huge losses in the online transaction. So what we have covered here, I told you that security framework is a global standard for data protection. OWASP is the secure coding for web application. KYC is done to prevent digital payment fraud and to ensure the trust. The ultimate key is the India's response. Very, very important. So cyber threats are growing fast. Want to know how business fight back and stay secure? So incident response matter. Rapid incident response is key to surviving the cyber attack. Combine incident management, digital forensic, evidence capture, breach reporting. They help the business respond quickly, especially against the dark web threat. If you look at the cyber security in India, cyber threat are rising threshold, right? As said by the CERTIN. Business are investing heavily in fraud detection. A stronger law, proactive strategies are essential to protect the identity and the data. What are the modern incident response strategy? So traditional root cause analysis is evolving into full business response plan, like proactive prevention and precaution, cyber awareness and employee training, self-healing security mechanism to minimize the impact. So we have just talked now about incident response, which means fast structured action against the attack. India threat is rising, more investment, say stronger law, and strategies to prevent, train and automate the defense. Looking to quickly revise the important points from Module C as per the syllabus prescribed, you are at the right place because we are going to discuss important points, only bullet points that will help you quickly memorize the important points. So vast till the next 60 minutes, I will provide you all the important contents, and through this you will be able to revise everything. So let's get started. Our first unit is online transaction. Have you ever wondered what really happened when you shop online? Let's break it down in simple word. An online transaction is also called e-commerce, is nothing but buying or selling goods and services on the internet. The fun part is everything happen electronically, no face-to-face meeting of buyer and seller. Now to keep money safe, we have something called OLTP, that is called online transaction processing. It works with password or security checks to make funds are transferred safely. But online shipping is just one part of the bigger picture that is called e-business. So the term was first introduced in the year 1996 and it covers all kind of business activity done through the internet, in short the digital marketplace. Now, and yes, every online transaction follows some step. The first one is authentication. We are going to discuss it. So what we have covered here, I told you that online transaction means buying and selling over the internet. OLTP keeps the money safe, right? Then e-business means complete internet-based business. It was started in the year 1996, and the first step of the online transaction is the authentication. Now, friends, what exactly an online transaction is? They are also known as e-commerce, right? We talked about the e-business. So what are the steps in the online transaction? Authentication, order processing, and completion. Right. These are the steps in the online business. So authentication means you verify the user credential. Order processing means payment authorization, and order confirmation. That is called order processing. Completion means successful fund transfer. Right. Now e-commerce, the digital trade. So what's the meaning of e-commerce? Let's understand. So e-business is a short for electronic business, right? It covers all the business activity happening online. OLTP, what is the full form? Online transaction processing. It is a secure password protected system that makes sure that your money is safely transferred without the internet. So every time you shop online, whether it is ordering food, booking ticket, or buying cloth, you are doing an online transaction where fund move electronically over the web. Then comes m-commerce. M-commerce, you call it, or mobile commerce, right? It simply means buying and selling goods or services using your smartphone or even device like PDAs. you know Basically shopping in your pocket. Now let's quickly see the three stages of online transaction. First is called pre-purchase, which means the product or service is displayed online with details. Then we have the purchase stage, where you like something, add it and pay online. And finally delivery, which means the item finally reaches your doorstep. And yes, there are three main steps involved in every online transaction. The first you have to do is registration, means you create an account on the website, add your email, name, address, right? Then we have placing an order, which means once you find a product you like, you add it to the shopping cart, and this cart keep track of all the items. And the third step is payment. Payment means what? You should basically you choose how you want to pay, right? Placing an order. And third case is payment. You choose how to make the payment: credit card, debit card, UPI, net banking. So remember, m-commerce means mobile based buying and selling. Three stages are there: pre-purchase, purchase, and delivery. Three stages and steps. Steps are registration, online order placement, and payment. So all the payments are secured with the encryption for safety. So what are the way in which you can make this payment? The first step we have is the COD. So now that you know how online transaction work, let's talk about the different way you can make payment. First we have cash on delivery. This is the most popular one. You order something online and pay when it arrives at your doorstep, right? The payment can be check to the seller. Once the check clear, the seller dispatches the product. Net banking transfer, in this case the money move directly from the buyer bank account through the seller account over the internet. Then we have credit or debit card payment. You enter your card detail and the amount is directly deducted from your account. It is very quick and also easy. And finally digital cash. So this is electronic money that exists only in cyberspace. Your bank money is converted into a special code and then stored on a chip, card, or computer. When you make a purchase, you just use that code and the transaction is completed. So cash on delivery, check, net banking, credit or debit card, these are the different way of making the payment. Now online payment. What is the meaning of online payment? Basically online payment simply means paying for goods and service using the internet. And the best part is that it cut down the cost for business because no paper or no postage is required. Plus once your details are saved on the site, you are more likely to shop there again, making it super convenient. And yes, it saves your time. No standing in long queue at bank or ATM. Just one click and your payment is done. That is why almost every bank now offer online bill payment 24/7. Now one more thing is that digital payment go one step further, right? How? Here both the payer and the payee use the digital mode. So no cash involved at all. Everything is done electronically, instantly and securely. This can be through debit card, credit card, internet banking, mobile banking, or even UPI. So let's look at two popular methods that we have. Credit card. Credit card issued by the bank. They let you pay now and repay later. Interest start if you don't clear your dues after a month, and your spending limit depends on your credit score. That is the beauty about the credit card. Then we have the debit card. Debit card also called the ATM card, right? And this is linked to your bank account. Whenever you swipe or whenever you enter your PIN, right, the money is directly deducted from your balance. If you don't have enough fund, the transaction simply won't go through. So online payment is the internet based, cost saving, time saving. Digital payment means no cash, fully electronic, instant, credit card, borrow now, repay later, and debit card means money deducted directly from your account balance. Now we have something, so this thing we have discussed. Yes, let's discuss the e-wallet. So friends, let's explore more digital payment method, right, that make our life easier. The first one is called e-wallet. So you can think of the e-wallet like a digital purse inside your phone or computer. It has two parts. First one is the software component that keeps your data safe with encryption, and the second one is the information component that store your data, card data, pin and payment information. So the next time you pay with an e-wallet, remember it is your digital purse at work. Next we have the smart card. So a smart card, this is also called a stored value card, right? It looks like a credit card but it has a microchip inside. That is called a smart card, a stored value card, right? The chip stores your money and the personal detail. You can recharge it from time to time and the money stay protected with encryption and password. And then we have the Paytm. So Paytm launched in the year 2010. Paytm stands for payment through mobile. So it started with mobile recharge and bill payment, but today it has grown into India's largest mobile commerce platform, offering shopping, ticket booking, bill payment, much more. So e-wallet means your digital purse storing card detail and payment. A smart card is the card with a chip storing encrypted money and information. And Paytm is the India's largest mobile payment platform. It started in the year 2010. Now let's talk about the e-banking. So e-banking is also called the virtual banking. This is also called electronic banking. This lets you manage your bank account completely online. You can transfer money, check balance, pay bill and handle transaction all from your bank website without stepping into a branch. So friends, I hope e-banking is clear. You can do anything, transfer money, check balance, pay bill and handle transactions using the e-banking. Next we have is the e-check. E-check is called electronic check. Just like a paper check but smarter and safer. It works online. It follows the same law. It comes with extra protection like authentication as well as the digital signature to make your money stay secure. Now the question is, why are digital payment becoming so popular? Let's see the advantage. Right. First one, they are easy and convenient. No need to carry bundle of cash. Just use your phone, card or Aadhaar. You can pay from anywhere, anytime. Even at midnight, you can instantly transfer money to a friend in need. The government give discount, right? For example, no service tax on payment under 2000 rupees, right? And the best part is, automatic return record, which means, every payment is saved in your passbook or app, helping you track spending. So e-banking means handling your account online. E-check means digital version of check with more security. And advantage of the digital payment are easy, convenient, pay anytime, discount, automatic and record. Now some of the types of basically e-commerce are as follow. First one is the B2B. So these are the types, right? Disadvantage is given, advantage is given, what are the downsides. And now let's talk about some of the types, right? Like B2B. B2B means business to business. So it means when two companies deals with each other. For example, a manufacturing or selling raw material to a wholesaler. It improves efficiency because business work directly with each other online. That is called B2B, right? Between the transaction between the two business company. B2C. This is the most common, like when you buy from Amazon or Flipkart. Here the online sell, right? Basically seller sell directly to you, the final customer. That is called B2C. Then C2C, consumer to consumer. So what is consumer to consumer? Where one person sell to another person. Think of OLX or eBay, where people can send second-hand item directly to the other buyer. And then we have C2B, that is called consumer to buyer. So here the role flip. Instead of business selling to customer, individual provide product and services to the business, right? And finally C2A. What is C2A? C2A is called consumer to administration. So this is where individual interact digitally with the government. For example, paying tax or applying online for document. So B2B, business to business. B2C, business to customer. C2C, consumer to consumer. Then C2B, consumer to business. And finally C2A, consumer to administration. Let's talk about B2A in detail. So B2A, this means all the online transaction between the company and the government. For example, when the business file taxes or when the business file licenses online, that is B2A. C2C, already I told you, consumer to consumer, like OLX, right? Or you are selling the old phone. Then B2C is the business to consumer. This is the most common one where you saw from the icon. I think we have discussed it already. Friends, if you are looking for study material for the cyber crime and prevention of the fraud management elective, this certification course, you can WhatsApp me on the number 8292857381, or in the description section of this particular video you will see the course link. You can directly purchase the course, install our app, and can access the premium content which includes unit wise theory, 2000 plus MCQs, as well as the previous year memory based question. They will surely help you in the upcoming examination, as it has helped many aspirant in the past to crack the paper in their first attempt. Now comes a very important part, which is the consumer protection. Right, consumer protection, how consumer get protected. Here you will see data privacy, right, data privacy and security. Let's understand it. So when we shop online, two things matter the most: consumer protection and data privacy. So first of all, Consumer Protection Act, right? So this act, this law ensure that customer, right, get fair treatment and good quality product. It also give the right to complain and can claim compensation if something goes wrong. For business, this means that they must clearly mention the product detail, prices, delivery timeline, return policy. If not, they can face lawsuit, heavy fine, and even damage to their reputation. So that is called Consumer Protection Act, right? Then comes the data privacy and security. Every time we shop online, we share personal detail like phone number, address, and bank information. That is why business must use secure server and encryption to protect the data in India. Law like the IT Act and the Personal Data Protection Bill make it mandatory to safeguard the consumer information. So let's remind the key point which we have covered. So I told you Consumer Protection Act, it ensures quality, fairness, and compensation right. Must clear the details regarding price, delivery, return, and finally data privacy, which means protect the personal and financial information using the secure system. That is called data privacy. And finally Indian law like IT Act and the Personal Data Protection Bill. These are the Indian law. Now friends, let's talk about the taxation. I think GST, IGST, these are the taxation policy. It affects our financial viability, and business must adhere to the tax law to avoid penalty. Then we have IPR. These are the legal consideration for e-commerce. IPR stands for intellectual property right, to protect the trademark, patent, and copyright, consumer protection, then data privacy, taxation compliance. We have discussed in detail about this thing. Now friends, let's see the unit number 10, which is regarding the global payment processing. Have you ever wondered how money moves so easily across country? That is the magic of global payment processing. Earlier, sending money abroad meant long form, high bank charges, extra fee for currency conversion. But today, thanks to the global payment processor, the process is fast, smooth, and cheaper. Think of them like a bridge between two countries. And what is their role? Their role is to help merchant receive money from the foreign customer. Their role is to coordinate with the customer bank, even if it is miles away. And finally, to convert currency instantly so that the payment reaches in the right format. So the next time you buy something from another country in a business, right, basically paying a foreign supplier, remember, global payment processors are silently working behind the scene to make it seamless, right? So remember, global payment processing means easy international money transfer. Earlier it was slow and costly with many charges, but today it is faster and cheaper and hassle-free. And what is the role of processor? What is the role of global payment processor? Remember it. Connect bank, handle payment, and finally the convert currency. You can see now, merchant to foreign customer, connecting the bank. Then issuing the bank coordination, handle payment, and finally the conversion of the currency. These are the three roles of the payment connector. Okay, global, this is called global payment processor, to be more precise. Now let's break down how the global payment processor work. There, let's look at the key stage. First one, the company must first set up a legal entity in the country where it operates. That is called legal entity setup. Without this, it could be face penalty. Then comes the international transfer. So moving money across border always involve the transaction fee, but global processor help minimize them, right? And then we have payroll processing, which means paying employee abroad manually is a headache because of the fluctuating exchange rate. But the global payment processor handle this automatically, right? Depositing salary directly into the local account. with correct currency conversion. These are the steps. Now the question is, why are these processors so important? Let's understand. Because they save money by cutting transfer fee, because they provide a strong security and fraud detection, because they ensure quick, accurate and safe payment worldwide. That's why these payment processor are so much important. These are the three important roles: cost efficiency, enhanced security, fraud prevention, automated currency conversion. These are the role of the global payment processor. Right. In short, global payment processor made international business transactions simple, cost effective and secure. So we have talked about the three stages. Let me just recapitulate. First one is the legal setup, second is the international transfer, and third is the payroll processing. And the benefit we have talked about, benefit are cost efficiency, security, fraud prevention and currency conversion. Now friends, SaaS based payment solution. Have you ever heard of SaaS based payment solution? These are the global payment processor that work just like a software service. Business pay based on how many transactions they make and how often. Based on that, business pay. Let's understand the global payment system. Basically, these payment system allow company to handle transaction in multiple currency. Global payment system allow company to handle transaction in multiple currency. And these are super important in today's global economy. But what exactly is the payment system? What defines a payment system? Think of it as a full setup that move money safely across border. Right, it move money safely across the border. It includes institutional and technology like bank, payment gateway and digital app. It includes the rules and standards that ensure that everything follow regulation. And finally, it includes the people and the process or procedure, who manage the secure flow of money. So in short, we can say that this global payment system are the backbone of international business, making transaction efficient, secure and compliant. So just now we are talking about SaaS based payment processor, which is subscription style global payment. This is a kind of subscription style the global payment. Global payment system handle multiple currency worldwide. Component includes institution and technology, rules and standards, peoples and procedure. And the benefit is efficiency. It is quite helpful in efficiency, security and compliance. You can see now these are the benefits: confidentiality, fraud prevention, accurate currency conversion. Let's talk about the global payment system. Right. So I told you that this is the secret behind the smooth cross-border transaction. Yes, how the smooth cross-border transaction maintained via the global payment system. Imagine a business paying supplier or vendor in different country. A global payment system make this easy by acting as a secure bridge between the buyer and the seller. And the three key benefits of the global payment system is, first of all, confidentiality, means your bank detail and the amount are stay protected. Then we have fraud prevention, which means built-in security protocol that stop the scams. And accuracy, accurate currency conversion, which means it ensures that payment are done in the right currency without error. Now friends, here is the best part. This system run as SaaS, that is called software as a service. That means business don't need expensive in-house infrastructure. They simply pay based on their transaction volume, business type and industry. So what we have talked just now, global payment system, it is a smooth international payment. Benefit is confidentiality, fraud prevention, accurate conversion. And SaaS model just now we talked about, software as a service, which is cheaper, pay as you go, no heavy setup is required. Now friends, one question is ensuring global payment software, global secure global payment. When it comes to global payment, security is everything. Payment can happen in two ways, either physical transaction like swiping your debit card or credit card at the POS machine, or online transfer through bank or digital payment platform. But the real game changer is transparency and monitoring. So global payment system keep a close eye on every detail like the transaction amount, right, and the parties involved, who is paying whom, geographical data, where the payment took place, and fraud detection report like spotting and blocking the suspicious activity. So payment can be physical or online, monitoring track amount, parties, location and fraud. Benefit is security, insight is easy and historical retrieval. Now friends, let's let's go through the important part of the unit number 10, which is based on payment card and data security. Right. So friends, basically PCIDSS, the backbone of the payment security. It is globally accepted security standard that protect your card transaction, whether credit card, debit card or prepaid card. What is the main job of PCIDSS? To keep your sensitive data retail like number, CVV and expiry date safe from the fraud and misuse. That is role of that is role of PCIDSS, to keep your sensitive card data like number, CVV, expiry date safe from fraud as well as the misuse. Now here is something interesting. PCIDSS is not a law, right? Instead, it is a business obligation. Any company that processes or store card payment must follow the PCIDSS to ensure a secure environment. Now, who created it? It was back in the year 2004. Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, JCB, they came together and they formed the Payment Card Industry Security Standard Council, or we call it PCISSC. Please remember the full form. Payment Card Industry Security Standard Council, right? So, in short, PCIDSS is what makes swiping your card or shopping online safe and secure. So, PCIDSS is the global security standard for card payment. It protects the cardholder data from fraud. It is not a law but mandatory for business handling card. And it was created in the year 2004 by the top card network under PCIDSS. Now the question is, why compliance matter? Basically simple. It protects us from data breaches, fraud and identity theft. And when business follow it customer feel safe, and it build trust. Now let's look at the three main core principle of PCISS. 6 there are. First one is a secure network and system, which means credit card payment must run on secure network with a strong firewall, right? Then we have protect the customer, obviously protect your cardholder data. Sensitive detail like SSN. There are some sensitive detail like SSN. SSN stands for scorecard cardholder information. Right, important details like SSN, phone number, addresses must be protected. And whenever this data move through, PCIDSS compliance matter. Simple. It protect from data breaches, fraud, identity theft, and when business follow it, customer feel safe. And the three core principle I told you: secure network and system, which means credit card payment must run on secure network with a strong firewall. For wireless, special firewall prevent spying, and never use default password. Always set unique, strong credential. Second point is protect cardholder data. Sensitive detail like SSN, phone number, addresses must be protected, right? And patch the software bug regularly. This prevent malware attack and keep the hacker out. So and third one is the vulnerability management. So which means business must keep their system updated, run threat detection program, and patch software bug regularly. This prevent malware attack and keep the hacker out. So PCI DSS is not just rule. It's about keeping payment safe, reliable and trustworthy. So remember the three words which I talked just now. Compliance, it prevent fraud and build the trust. Three core principles just now I told you. First one is the secure network with firewall plus unique password. Second one is the protect and encrypt the cardholder data. And third one is the update system plus fix bug to stop the malware. Now we have a strong access control measure. We have already covered the three PCI DSS principle. Now let's finish the rest. Right. Fourth one is the strong access control measure. Only authorized people should get sensitive card data. Every user must have a unique ID so their action can be tracked. And don't forget the physical safety like shredding the document, locking the disposal bin, and restricting the duplication. Then we have monitoring and test network. Business must constantly watch their network for any unusual activity. Regular audit, regular penetration test help catch weakness before the hacker do. Then we have to maintain an information security policy. So company need a clear security policy that everyone follow. Employees should be trained on how to handle card data safely and to stay compliant. So fourth principle was regarding the restrict access plus unique ID plus physical security. Fifth principle is regarding monitoring network plus run audit and test. And sixth principle is regarding the company-wide policy plus employee training. Now friends, let's talk about strengthening the PCI DSS compliance. Right. So the step number 1 is the continuous network monitoring. Scan network regularly, keep antivirus and anti-spyware updated, and perform security check on application, RAM and storage. Second, we have a strong information security policy. So basically the formal setup, formal security policy, enforce audit and implement penalty to ensure the compliance. What are the key PCIDSS requirement? Firewall protection, which means protect the cardholder data. No default password. Always use unique credential. Third is the data security. Safeguard stored card information. Then we have encryption standard. Encrypt data on public network. Then we have updated antivirus protection, which means keep antivirus software current. Secure system, which means maintain patched and safe application. Restricted access, like only authorized employee can access the sensitive data. Unique user ID, which means each system user get a individual credential. Physical security, limit physical access. And finally, enforce the security policy, which means make sure that everyone follow the strict rule. So continuous monitoring plus a strong security policy, it means these are the foundation. Full QSA assessment and quarterly network scan. Level 2 is the mid-size organization. So here we have 1 to 6 million transactions per year. So you must do an ASAQ. What is SAQ? Annual self-assessment and sometimes quarterly scan. Level 3 is for a small to medium enterprise, which means to 20,000 to 1 million transactions yearly. They need annual SAQ and possibly quarterly vulnerability scan. And level 4 is the small business which have less than 20,000 transactions per year. They must complete annual SAQ and quarterly scan may be required. So PCIDSS compliance scale with business size and transaction volume, ensuring that everyone, big or small, keep payment secure. So compliance level is 1 largest to 4 smallest. Requirement is annual SAQ, right? Network scan and QSA for the top level. So remember the full form of this as SAQ and QSA, right? SAQ means annual self-assessment, right? Now what are the challenges? Some benefits are there, customer trust get enhanced, right? Data breach risk get minimized. Then fraud prevention, it reduces the fraud risk. And industry compliance, it demonstrates commitment to security based practices. But there are some challenges also. So basically the challenge that business face with the PCI DSS compliance, the first one is the complex implementation. Security rules are extensive and can be tough to understand, especially for small businesses. Second is the high compliance cost. Keeping systems secure, training staff, maintaining compliance can be expensive. Then we have continuous monitoring and update. Security is not a one-time thing. Regular assessment, testing, update, these are required, which take time and obviously effort. And finally, evolving cyber threat. Hacker and cyber risk are always changing. So business must adapt to the new threat and update standard. So in short, we can say that PCI DSS compliance is essential, but require dedication, resource, and constant vigilance. Right. So challenges are complexity, cost, continuous monitoring, and evolving threat. A small business feel it most, but for most business, every business they must stay vigilant. And then we have talked about goal also. Now friends, want to stay fully PCI DSS compliant? Here are the best practice that every business should follow. First one is the store only essential data, which means keep just the cardholder information that you really need. So first one is storing only the essential data, right? Which means keep just the cardholder information that you really need. Second is a strong compliance program, which means define clear policy, rules, and the objectives. Set the performance metrics. Track and measure your compliance effort. Then we have annual qualified personnel, which we call AQP, which means have trained staff managing security and compliance. Go beyond PCI DSS requirement. So add extra security measures for your specific industry risk. Then continuous monitoring and testing. It means regular check system for any vulnerabilities. And finally, rapid response. Have a plan ready to handle any security breach quickly. Employee training. It ensures that staff on phishing, on scam or social engineering. Then we have rapid response. Have a plan ready. Employee training. Employee training means educate staff on phishing, scam and social engineering. Vendor compliance. Ensure that third party provider follow the security standard. Adapt to the emerging cyber threat. Update security measures as new cyber risk appear. And finally, engage the security expert. So work with QSA, qualified security assessor, and ASB approved scanning vendor for compliance assessment. Friends, if you think that till now the concept is clear, please hit the like button, please subscribe the channel, and hit the bell icon for getting instant notification whenever I upload the video. So let's quickly revise the key point. So we should keep only necessary data, a strong pass, a strong policy, trained staff, measurable compliance, and finally monitor constantly, respond fast, and stay ahead of the cyber threat. Now friends, let's switch our focus to the electronic card frauds. So first one is the ATM card fraud. Let's understand it. What is ATM fraud? Unauthorized use of your ATM card and PIN to withdraw money. Sometimes fraudsters even break into ATM to steal the cash directly. What are the common types? First one is the skimming, which means hidden device steal your card data, which is then used to make the fake card. Skimming means a tiny device inside the card slot capture card information for misuse, right? So skimming means hidden device, skimming means a tiny device inside the card. Then cloning means fraudster create duplicate card using a stolen information. Older people are often targeted. Then we have card and card trapping. ATM are tampered to hold your card or cash. Then we have physical ATM attack. So ATMs are physically broken into using slow explosive or cutting machine, right? So what are the stay safe tips? Use ATM in secure well lit area. Cover your PIN while entering. Check for suspicious device before entering your card. So remember, ATM fraud is unauthorized access to the card or cash. Common method include skimming, simming, cloning, trapping, physical attack, and safety tips also I told you. Now let's look at some trapping techniques. Let's learn about ATM card fraud, risk, trick, and how to prevent them. So card trapping means a scanner install a device that make your card get stuck. When you ask for help, they steal it, right? Then we have keyboard jamming. So criminal disable enter and cancel button to disrupt your transaction and take your card when you step away. So this is called card trapping. Keyboard jamming means criminal disable the enter or scan button, right? That is the point. Then preventive measures, how to prevent it? So basically inspect the ATM for unusual attachment or hidden device, first point. Second point, avoid using ATM in isolated area or without security. What are the preventive measures? Inspect the ATM for unusual attachment or hidden activity. Avoid using ATM in isolated area or without security. Check for hidden camera before entering your PIN. Stay alert if anyone is lingering around the ATM. So trapping means card for keypad trick. Skimming means hidden device steal card information. And prevention is checking ATM, staying alert, covering PIN, avoid isolated ATM. Now the question is, why is credit card fraud? What is credit card fraud? Let's understand. Yes, credit card fraud. So basically it is where someone uses your credit card number and the PIN without permission. Fraudster buy goods, services or transfer money to their account. What are the common methods for this credit card fraud? Like account takeover. So criminal hijack your existing card account. Second is the new account fraud, which means fraudster open new account using your stolen information. Right. Then we have the cloned card. Duplicate card are made using your card detail. Then we have CNP, card not present fraud, which means online or phone fraud where your physical card is not needed. Now the question is how fraudsters steal information. Some techniques are there like phishing. Phishing means fake mail, card or message that trick you into shipping to share the card detail. Then we have skimming. Skimming means hidden device basically hidden device. What they do, they steal card data at ATM or POS machine, and data leaks are the hacked database that expose your information. So the question is how to stay safe. Yes, so follow PCIDSS standard for secure standard. Then bank use AI and machine learning Yes, bank use AI and machine learning to detect suspicious activity. Regulation protect you from fraud loser, and be vigilant. Don't share card information and report suspicious quickly. Now we have the credit card fraud methods and prevention. So what is the meaning of credit card fraud? First is the evolving security measures. Advanced technology keep strengthening the card security. Fraudsters now face more barrier to steal your money. Type of payment card failure. First of all, we have card present fraud. Less common. Stolen or cloned card used in the person. EMB chip take has reduced this a lot. Right. Then we have CNP, card not present fraud, which means this is online or remote fraud using a stolen card detail from the data breaching or phishing. Most common one, online or remote fraud using a stolen card detail from the data breaching or phishing. Now how the fraud happen? Either data breach, which means millions of cardholder detail can get exposed. Delayed fraud, like a stolen card information may be misused month later, or lost or stolen card. Right. So we should monitor our statement regularly. Block the lost or stolen card immediately. Safeguard card detail. Use virtual or tokenized card for online transaction. These are the technique. Now friends, let's talk about the payment card fraud and how to protect yourself. First one is the contactless payment risk, which means tap and pay commerce convenience. So small payment without pin or signature, right? Then risk is that a stolen card can be misused for multiple small transactions before anyone notice. Then we have the fraud detection by card issuer, which means AI based monitoring. Bank track unusual spending pattern, alert big purchases far home, right? They may trigger. Fraud. First is the application fraud. What is the application fraud? Fake identities to open account or get credit. That is called application fraud. Then fraudster use cash convertible goods, right? So fake identity uses cash conversion goods. Then we have this was the application fraud. Second is the account takeover fraud. So what happened in the case of account takeover fraud? Let's understand. So in this case, criminal hijack your account, right? Credit card, bank account, every email also, right? They often use phishing or social engineering. Now then we have so basically risk are contactless payment, stolen card misuse. Detection is AI monitoring, alert and verification. Fraud three types I told you: application fraud, account takeover fraud, 2 types, and prevention is vigilance, monitoring and quick reporting. These are the prevention technique. Now advanced fraud tactics and preventive measures. Let's uncover the advanced fraud tactics and learn how to stay safe. Identify the manipulation method. Manipulation fraud. Partial identity theft. Fraudster uses your email or phone to access the account. Intercepted notification. So they divert alert so that you stay unaware of the fraud. Then we have social engineering scam. Criminal act like the trusted people to steal money or data. Email spoofing. These are the fake email from senior staff. They trick employee into transforming the fund. So social engineering scam, what it is? Like impersonation. Criminal act as trusted people to steal the money or steal the data. Email spoofing, which means fake email from senior staff trick employee into transferring fund. Telephone phishing. Fraudster prevent to be the bank or payment provider to steal your information. Then we have business process strategy. Dual authorization. So financial transfer need approval from the two bank official, right? Then we have the callback verification. So basically this business process as strategies, right? It includes callback verification, which means always verify payment request using registered contact. bank refund policy. It means that unauthorized payment can often be refunded if you act promptly. Then we have unexpected repeat billing period. What does it mean? So it means that recurring charges trap. A standing order or subscription can be misused. Hidden fee. Online payment may snag in recurring or fraudster charges. So these are the points. Now emerging fraud tactics. What are the emerging fraud tactics? Like a rogue automatic payment. So legitimate look subscription that continue without consent. Utility payment scam. Watch out for fake billing message asking for payment. So what we have discussed just now, identity theft and intercepted notification. Social engineering, it includes email, phone and impersonation. Now friends, let's discuss the common detective technique. Fake urgency. A scammer threatens immediate disconnection of utilities to panic you. Then impersonation, which means fraudster pretend to be utility expert using faker caller ID and logos. Then we have reloadable cards. What does it mean? So victims are asked to pay via non-traceable prepaid card. Now let's talk about the risk of information sharing. So personal data like name, email and card information are shared daily. Online transaction often store your data, sometimes shared with the third party. And database breaches, so that hacker exploit weak vulnerability to a strong amount of help. Now what is the meaning of continuous battle against the cyber threat? So financial system evolve constantly to counter the fraud. Hacker adapt to prevent an ongoing so prevention is an ongoing effort. Then we have a smart card fraud. What does it mean? It is a physical card with microchip acting as a secure token. It can connect through chip and dip or other method for transaction. So always prospect your card, or whether or not it is in a bonded under trust. So smart card fraud we are talking about. You can connect card through chip and dip or other method, right? Chip and dip physical contact or by wireless like RFID or NSIC, a smart card, right? So stay vigilant, verify all payment return, limit unnecessary data to stay safe. So scammer use urgency, impersonation and prepaid card. Your data is always at risk online, so breaches are quite common. And a smart card uses the secure bot but need careful planning. Now what is the security advantage over the magnetic stripe card? Basically unique token generation. Every transaction create a unique encrypted code. Chip based authentication, which means is safer than old magnetic stripe card. Pin purchases, pin protection. What is the meaning of pin protection? So it means extra layer to prevent the unauthorized access. Type of a smart card. First one is POS, that is called point of sale terminal, right? So used in the store for direct payment. EMB technology encrypt data, reduce the fraud risk. Watch out, old magnetic stripe POS terminal or merchant setup error can still be vulnerable. Then we have backward compatibility risk. So if the POS terminal still use old magnetic stripe card reader, fraud vulnerability increase. That is called POS technique. So merchant configuration error. These are the points. So how to protect your card is smart card safe fraud. Sign your card immediately. Keep your PIN confidential. Enable SMS and OTP alert. Monitor your statement. Save customer service contract. Avoid non-EVM in terminal. So friends, that is all we need to learn in the unit number 10, right? So we have covered the module C completely in this particular lecture, and important contents, right? If you go through the book, it has been covered in almost 300 to 400 pages, but using this particular video in just 60 minutes, we will only wrap up the key points, the bullet points. that will help you to revise the entire content in a short time. So let's get started. Cybercrime is nothing but a crime done using a computer or the internet. Think of it like this. Sometimes the computer is the target, like when a virus or a bug attacks it. And sometimes computer is the weapon used for crime like cyber stalking, fraud, or identity theft. Some common examples are, sometimes, it is act like a tool as well as a target. That's what I explain you. Sometimes computer is the weapon used for crime like cyber stalking, fraud, or identity theft. Some common example includes phishing. What is the phishing? Phishing are those fake email that try to steal your personal detail. Card fraud. Card fraud means when your debit or credit card is misused. Bank hacking. So a digital version of robbery. Illegal download. Yes, that is also cybercrime. Industrial espionage. Stealing secret business idea. Cyber terrorism. Spreading fear through online attack. And of course, spam email, child exploitation, harmful software like viruses and malware. Right, as technology grow, cyber crime is also increasing. That's why a strong cyber security is no longer an option, but it is a necessity. So what we have covered here, just let me revise you. So what I told you that cyber crime is a crime using computer or internet. Two types are there: computer as a target like virus and bug, or computer as a weapon like fraud or stalking. Common crime include phishing, card fraud, bank hack, illegal download, espionage, then cyber terror scams, child exploitation, and malware. So more technology, more risk, and need a strong cyber security. Now friends, so this is how we present everything. See, if you go through the book, you cannot find, this is called ultra micro notes. Everything written point wise for fast revision. This way you should revise at the last moment before the examination. Now friends, cybercrime comes in many forms. Some of the most dangerous are cyber terrorism, which means using the internet to create fear, threaten life, or to attack the critical system. Then we have cyber extortion. So when hacker launch attacks like DOS and then demand money and protection, that is called cyber extortion. Cyber warfare. So countries fighting battle online with cyber weapon, spying, and digital attack. Internal fraud. So a scam and fake information designed to cheat the people, that is called internal fraud. Cyber stalking. Repeatedly sending message or email to harass someone, sometimes even offline. But fighting cybercrime is not easy. Why? Because most people are not aware of their right. Criminals stay anonymous, making them hard to trace. Many victims don't even report, so cases stay hidden. Offenders are highly skilled and tech savvy, and punishment are often weak, except in terrorism case. So repeat crime keep rising. So these are the main challenges. The only solution is clear. We need a stronger law, more digital literacy, and better reporting of the crime. So friends, let me summarize whatever point we have discussed here. I told you that the types of cybercrime we have classification. I told you cyber terrorism, cyber extortion, cyber warfare, internal fraud, cyber stalking. Right? You must know what is terms mean. Right? And then I told you the challenges are low awareness, hidden identity. Right? Poor reporting, skilled offender, and weak punishment. Solution is strong law plus digital literacy plus better reporting. That is our solution. Now friends, prevention is always better than cure, and the same goes for cybercrime. So how we can stay safe online? First, use a strong password. Make them unique, complex, never reuse them. That is the easiest way to block brute force or rainbow attack. Then, second, always rely on trusted antivirus. Keep it updated so that it can stop malware and viruses before they hit your system. Third, protect your social privacy, which means keep a strict setting and only accept people you actually know. Fourth, always update your software. Those update fix loophole that hacker love to exploit. Right? So those update, they fix loophole that hacker love to exploit. Then use a secure network, which means always avoid free Wi-Fi, and if you must, use a VPN or encryption. And finally, don't click a spam mail or unknown link. That is the doorway to most fraud and viruses. In short, the key to cyber safety is simple: vigilance plus strong security plus awareness. So what we have told you, that strong unique password, reliable antivirus, social privacy setting, regular software update, secure network, avoid public Wi-Fi, never open spam mail or unknown links. Remember, vigilance plus security plus awareness, it means cyber safety. Now friends, when we talk about cybercrime, there are some tricky but important concepts that you must know. Unauthorized access, which means when someone entered your system without your permission. Hacking, which means illegal intrusion using tools or program, often to steal data. Friends, if you are looking for a study material for cybercrime certification course, you can check out our course. In the link is provided in the description section. You can install our app. App name is JAIIB and CAIIB Made Simple. So in the app you will see a course using which many aspirants have cracked the examination in their very first attempt, right? And also the all the points, this PDF is also present there, right? Module wise quick revision PDF, unit wise theory PDF, and unit wise MCQs. There are almost 1000 plus MCQs covering all the entire content, as well as the previous year memory based question. So this is a whole fully fledged course which help you score good marks in the examination. You can either WhatsApp me on the number 8292857381, or in the description section of the video you will see the number. Now let's come back to our discussion. So we are talking about hacking. Hacking is an illegal intrusion using tools, using programs, often to steal data, destroy file, or even target the government website. Web hijacking, when a hijacker take full control of a website and the real owner is logged out. That is called web hijacking. What is DOS attack? Flooding a website with fake traffic so that real user cannot access it. If multiple attackers join in it, it become a DDoS attack. Then we have the virus attack. It is harmful program that replicate, slow down your system, alter or delete data. That is called virus attack. What is the meaning of worms? Worms, they spread automatically through network without any help. Then Trojan. Trojan looks like a useful software but secretly cause damage. That is called Trojan. Then we have logic or time bomb. So they are hidden code that trigger when a certain condition is met or at a specific time. So the lesson is clear. Only cyber awareness and protective measure can keep us safe. So what I told you, unauthorized access means entry without permission. Hacking means intrusion with theft and destruction motive. Web hijacking, which means forceful web takeover. DOS attack or DDoS attack, overload traffic to block the access. Virus attack, replicate and harm data or system. Worm, it is spread automatically. Trojan, it fake software with hidden harm. Then logic or time bomb, trigger on condition or time. So key awareness, plus protection, it means cyber safety. Now let's look at the key cyber threat and the crime. So friends, let's talk about some key cyber threat that look small but can cause massive damage. First, the Trojan horse. It is a software that looks safe but is actually malicious. Think of it like a gift box with a hidden bomb inside. It works with an attacker computer as the client and the victim as a server, using internet protocol like TCP, IP, or UDP. Then software piracy. So making illegal copy of the software, stealing source code, or misusing the trademark. A related trick is cyber squatting, where people register fake domain name just to make money or mislead the user. Finally, salami attack. This question is asked most frequently. Salami attack, these are clever fraud where tiny amount are deducted, almost invisible to the user, but when added up across thousands of accounts, it become a huge fraud. So tiny amount are deducted. Imagine losing just a few paisa daily, but multiplied by million, that's a fortune, right? Amounts are deducted almost invisible to the user, but when added up across the thousands of accounts, it become a big fraud. The focus is on hidden software, illegal copying, micro fraud. Together they create major cyber threat. So let's quickly recap the key point which we have covered. Remember, Trojan horse means disguised malicious software. Software piracy means illegally copying, code theft. Cyber squatting means fake domain for profit. Salami attack means teeny deduction, and this can cause huge fraud. And the key is that is how identity theft and online fraud begin. Then comes the illegal sale of article. So from drug and arms to even wildfire are all being traded secretly through shady websites, auction or email. Now next is the online gambling and money laundering. So they often run on foreign server. Many of these sites are just a front for hawala operation and black money clearing. And finally, email spoofing, fake email that look 100% genuine, used for spam, phishing or fraud by taking advantage of weak authentication system. So the key takeaway is only alertness, verification and a strong cyber security practice can protect us, right? So what we have just talked now, let's quickly revise. I told you about phishing. Phishing means fake mail and site to steal the data. Illegal sale means drug, arms, wildlife, online. Online gambling means often linked to hawala and laundering. Email spoofing means fake email for fraud. So the key is stay alert plus verify plus use cyber security tool. Now friends, let's talk about not all cyber crime are about money, right? Some directly attack your reputation as well as the data. For cyber defamation, first is the cyber defamation, like posting false or harmful content online through blog, website or even email just to damage someone's image. Then we have digital forgery, creating fake document, currency, mark sheet, have an official stamp using computer, printer and scanner. Now let's look at crime targeting data in the system. First is called information theft, like stealing data using hard drive, USB or external device is called information theft. Then email bombing, like sending thousands of mail to crash someone's account or even a whole server. Then we have data diddling. It sounds funny but it is serious. Changing raw data before or after processing to commit fraud in transaction or record. And finally we have internet time theft. So when hacker misuse your paid internet hour by hacking into your ISP account. So the message is clear. We need a strict law, a strong awareness and ethical use of technology to fight the cyber crime. So let's quickly revise the key point. First of all, we talked about the cyber defamation. Cyber defamation means false online content or harming reputation. Digital forging means fake documents, currency and mark sheet. Information theft means stealing via SDD, USB, etc. Email bombing means overload email to crash the server. Data diddling means altering data for fraud. Internet time theft means misuse of paid internet hour. So key law plus strict law, right, plus ethics plus awareness, it ensures cyber protection. Now let's talk about the cyber crime. Cyber crime are not just digital. They can involve physical theft and serious personal harm also. First is the cyber system theft. What happens system theft? When criminals steal actual computer hardware like CPU, chips or peripheral. Physical damage, breaking or tampering with device, circuit or storage unit to cause loss. That is called physical damage. Now let's move to the crime that target privacy and the people. So first one is the privacy breach. So when your personal data is used or exposed without permission, often through social engineering trick, that is called privacy breach. Confidentiality breach. When sensitive data is accessed without authorization, that is called confidentiality breach. E-commerce and investment fraud, fake scheme, non-delivery, auction fraud online, these are called e-commerce. Then child pornography, which is called CSAM, right, creating or sharing abusive content involving minor, which is a strict criminal offense. Cyber bullying, so using device to send threat, insult or to spread the false information. And finally cyber grooming, which means predator luring minor online to exploit them sexually. So friends, this lesson is clear. Data protection, secure network, awareness, these are the foundation of the cyber safety. So what we have talked just now, let me summarize. I told you about system theft, which is stealing hardware, physical damage, tampering device, privacy breach, unauthorized data use, confidentiality breach, access to sensitive information, e-commerce, fake scheme, child pornography, strict offense, cyber bullying, threat and insult online, cyber grooming, which means predator exploit minor, right? These are the key points. Now let's talk about the cyber crimes. So cyber criminals don't just attack system, they often target people with trap and scams. Take job fraud, fake job offer with high salary, but before you join they ask for an upfront fee. Once you pay, they vanish. Then online sex or so basically blackmailing someone using private photos or data and demanding money, favor or more content. Phishing means voice phishing. Here fraudster call you pretending to be from a bank and trick you into sharing PIN, OTP, CVV or password. Now let's move to the digital scam, like smishing, like phishing via SMS. You get a message with fake number, website or malicious link. Sexting, sharing explicit content which later become a tool for blackmail and exploitation. And the dangerous SIM swap scam. Criminal get a duplicate SIM of your number, intercept your OTP, and alert and drain your account. The golden rule is awareness, a strong cyber security, timely reporting are the only way. So what we have talked just now, job fraud, yes, fake job plus fear trap, phishing, phone fraud, stealing banking information, smishing, right, fraud SMS with fake link, SIM swap, like duplicate SIM, OTP alert, these are the points. Now friends, cyber fraud and scam are the easiest way criminal trick people online. First is the card fraud. When your debit or credit card is misused through hacking, skimming device, or phishing links. Next, spamming. Spamming means through endless unwanted mail or SMS filled with fake promotion or hidden phishing attempt. Then come ransomware. Ransomware is a dangerous attack where malware lock your file by encryption and hacker demand ransom to give access back. And finally, impersonation or ID theft. When criminal use fake e-signature, stolen ID or password to misuse your bank, social media or personal data. The formula to stay safe is strong security, constant awareness and quick reporting. So what we have talked just now, card fraud, which means unauthorized card use, spamming, unwanted mail SMS with trap, ransomware, file is locked, ransom demanded, identity theft, which means fake ID or e-sign misuse, key security plus awareness plus reporting. It ensures fraud prevention. Now let's talk about the cyber threat. Cyber threats are everywhere and they attack both our system and our data. First one is the virus. The malicious code that hide in file, alert or damage the data and keep replicating. That is called virus. Worm. Unlike viruses, they don't need file. They spread on their own through the drive and the network. Then the Trojan horse. These are the software that look genuine but secretly open a backdoor for hacker. It does not replicate, but it is extremely dangerous. Data breach. When confidential information is stolen, leading to identity theft, fraud, or even corporate espionage. Website defacement. Hacker altering website, posting obscene or hostile content. And finally, cyber squatting, which means registering fake domain name just to misuse a brand reputation and make money. So the bottom line is only awareness, good cyber hygiene and a strong security measure can keep this threat under control. So let's quickly revise the key point which we have covered. Virus means damage and replicate in file. Worms means self-spreading via network. Trojan is the fake software, they open backdoor. Data breach means that stolen confidential information. Website defacement, which means site altered and damaged. Cyber squatting are fake domain for profit. So the key is awareness plus hygiene plus security. Now let's look at the advanced cyber threat. Cyber criminals are getting smarter and today threats are far more advanced than before. Take farming. So basically, even if you type the correct website address, you are secretly redirected to a fake site that steals your login detail and the data. Cryptojacking. Hacker hide mining software in your system to generate cryptocurrency for themselves. The result is your device slow down and electricity bill shoot up. So friends, what I have told you, let me just summarize. So farming means redirect legit site to fake site. That is called farming. Okay. Cyber cryptojacking. Okay, what is the meaning of cryptojacking? I told you that hacker hide mining software in your system to generate cryptocurrency for themselves. The result is your device slow down and electricity bill shoot up. Then comes the online drug trafficking, which means illegal narcotics being sold on digital platform using encryption and anonymous network. And finally, cyber espionage, which is digital spying where confidential data is stolen, whether it is corporate secret, political strategies, or even national security information. The only way to fight this smart threat is with a strong cyber security, constant vigilance and active monitoring. So what we have talked just now, let's quickly revise. So we talked about the farming. Farming means redirect legitimate site to fake site. Cryptojacking, which means hidden crypto mining, slow down the system. Online drug trafficking, illegal narcotics via digital platform. Cyber espionage, which means spying, stealing sensitive data. Now friends, let's talk about computer insecurity and attack. Most cybercrime happen because of the computer insecurity, weak protection that hacker love to exploit. It is always a race between security expert and the attacker. Let's look at the major type of attack. First one is the exploit. Using bugs or glitches in software. Hacker often reuse this code inside the Trojan or viruses. Then we have eavesdropping. So secretly listening to network communication to steal the private data. Then we have social engineering or human error. Basically, tricking people like pretending to be an admin to grab their password. Then we have DOS, which is called denial of service, overloading a system so it crashes and real user cannot access it. Indirect attack, using a compromised third-party system to hide the real attacker. Then we have backdoors, which means hidden entry point that bypass security and give hacker long-term access. And finally, direct access, when someone physically enters your system, install malware, copies data or changes the setting. Remember, viruses and malicious code are the main source of insecurity, Vigilance and strong security are the only shield. So what we have talked just now, let me just summarize. Exploit means bug and glitches misused. Eavesdropping means intercept the private data. Social engineering means tricking people to steal information. DUS means overload, crash services. Indirect attack means hidden, use third party as cover. Backdoor means hidden entry for hacker. And direct access, physical system entry. Now friends, let's talk about the next part. Cyber attack are getting smarter every day, and knowing how they work is the first step to staying the safe. Type of attack, DUS attack. So hacker overload a system with fake request so that it crashes. Then indirect attack. They hide behind third party system, making it hard to trace. Backdoor, secret entry point that let attacker bypass security and take control remedy. Direct access. When someone physically tampers with a device, installing malware, stealing data, that's called direct access. So how do we fight back? By building secure system design. This means adding security at every stage, protecting data, protecting interface, and constantly upgrading defense as risk evolve. Because the impact of breach is huge. Financial loss, emotional stress, business coming to a standstill. So the key takeaway is strong system design, continuous security. When combined together, this ensures true cyber resilience. Right. Now friends, let's talk about how to protect your system and avoid online trap. So the best practice is for the system protection, use firewall. They act like a security guard. They block unwanted traffic. Use IDS, intrusion detection system. They catch live attack and even tell you where they are coming from. With this tool, your risk goes down and your peace of mind goes up. But attackers don't stop there. They track people online. They trick people online. These are the common form of internet fraud, like spam, junk email, junk SMS, full of ad, full of scam. Then we have the scam, like fake promise, like Nigerian prince or lottery win. Then spyware, hidden software that spies on your data and slow down your system. Phishing, fake mail and website designed to steal your banking or payment information. So stay alert, always verify source, and use the right security tool to stay safe online. Now friends, let's talk about the advanced internet fraud. Fraud on the internet are getting smarter every day. Let's break down some advanced tactics you must know. Phishing. Phishing means you get a fake email with link, click them, and malware sneak in to steal your login detail. Identity theft, which means criminal misuse your personal data for fraud, impersonation, and even financial crime. Then internet banking fraud. Hacker get unauthorized access to your bank account and transfer money online. So these often happen through phishing, which is actually a subset of the identity theft. Then we have boiler room scam. What happened? Haven't got high pressure call promising guaranteed investment or forex profit. Most of them are fake, designed to trap you. So the key takeaway is cybercrime keep evolving. Always stay cautious. Verify every message, verify every call, and secure your data. Then we have deceptive scam and fraud. Not every message you see online is genuine. Let's look at some common deceptive scam, like pump and dump, which means fraudsters create fake hype around a stock, prices shoot up, they sell at the top, and investors like us face huge loss. Then romance scam. A scammer pretends to be your dream partner, slowly build trust, and then ask for money using emotional pressure, emergency, or by shifting chat off the platform. Then we have lottery scam. Congratulations, you won a big prize, but to claim it, they demand fee or your bank detail. The truth is, there is no prize. Then a scammer trick in lottery fraud includes, pressurizing you to act quickly, asking for secrecy, demanding repeated payment. The hidden danger is, identity theft, financial fraud, and endless money loss. So the key takeaway is stay alert, always verify, never share personal information or financial detail. Then we have card and email fraud. So scammers have mastered new trick to steal your money and identity. Let's uncover some of the most common one, like card skimming. Fraudsters secretly copy your ATM or credit card data, create a clone card, and use it for withdrawal or identity theft. Email spoofing. You get an email that looks exactly like it's from your bank or trusted person, but the header are fake. Clicking their link can cost your data. Now let's move to the financial scam and tactics, like advanced fee scam. Someone promises you huge money, but first ask for a small processing fee. Once paid, they vanish or keep demanding more. Nigerian scam. It is a classic advanced fee scam where email claim that you will get big inheritance or investment return if you just send some money upfront. So the key takeaway is be suspicious of the unexpected offer. Never share your card data or click the unknown link. Then we have check and overpayment scam. Scammer don't always hack computer. Sometimes they hack emotion. Let's see how. Like overpayment scam. A scammer accidentally send you a check with extra money, then asks for refund later. The check bounces and you lose both the money and the product. Rule: never refund until you verify the payment. Then inheritance scam, which means you get a mail or call from a so-called lawyer saying you are inherited a fortune overseas. They ask for fee, documents or secrecy. Red flag. If you never know the deceased, it's fake. Emergency or grandparent scam. A scammer pretend to be a loved one in distress, urgently asking for money via wire transfer. Warning sign. They insist on secrecy. They pressure you emotionally and demand quick action. So remember, verify the claim, contact your family directly, never send money without confirmation. Then we have emergency scam variation. Scammer are creative. They don't just call a stranger. There is something called impersonation scam. Prime target for cyber criminal because they hold high value customer data and they are increasingly digital. So we are talking about the security reality. Cyber security is a continuous process. Threat evolve, so bank need constant update, monitoring and proactive measures. Then human factor always matter. So low awareness, poor training, policy lapse, this can lead to breaches, malware attack or identity theft. So what are the common cyber threat in banking? Right, like data theft, which means customer information is stolen. Phishing means users are tricked into revealing password or banking credential. Ransomware, which means systems are locked and hacker demand payment. And identify the fraud. So criminal impersonate someone but to steal money. Right, these are the techniques which are used. Now friends, let's look to the next slide. So cyber threat in banking are evolving fast. Like advanced technique like APT. What is APT? Advanced persistent threat. So long-term highly sophisticated attack by well-funded criminal. POS crime. So fraud through cash register or card terminal is stealing payment information. Then ATM scheming. Hidden device capture your card and the pin, allowing cloning or unauthorized transaction. So what is the impact on bank? Customer trust erosion, breaches, shake confidence, rising security cost. What happened? Bank must invest in advanced cyber security. Financial losses, which means when I say financial loss, it means fraud and breaches leads to direct monetary damage. So consequence and safeguard, financial and reputation loss, legal penalties, operational disruption, loss of customer trust due to sensitive data breaches. So vigilance and robust security are the key to financial stability and maintaining the trust. Now friends, let's talk about cyber security in banking is not just about technology. It's about law, it's about regulation and protecting the entire system. First thing we have is the compliance. Compliance means bank must follow a strict security standard. Non-compliance can lead to fine or legal issue. Legal consequences, which means cyber crime trigger investigation, lawsuit, financial liability. So what I told you that cyber crime trigger investigation, lawsuit and financial liability. So a proactive approach help mitigate risk and ensure that regulation are upheld. Systemic risk. What is systemic risk? This question is most frequently asked. An attack on one bank can spread to other, disrupting the whole industry. And investor confidence drops, leading to a market volatility and economic slowdown. Now safeguarding strategy. So advanced security, use cutting edge cyber security tool. Awareness, train employee and customer to detect phishing, malware, insider threat. So the key takeaway is multi-layered security plus compliance plus awareness. These are the protection for digital banking and customer trust. Now strengthening the cyber security. Banks are under constant cyber threat, so strong defense is a must. So what are the essential measures we can take? Like multi-layered defense. So firewall, other tool to protect the confidential data. Employee training. So teach staff to spot phishing, malware and insider threat. Continuous monitoring. So it means detect threat in the real time and respond quickly. Collaboration. So bank working with cyber security firm and sharing data strengthen defense for everyone. So cyber crime is growing and can cause financial and reputational damage. So the solution is a proactive approach with a strong defense. Common is malicious hacker. They steal data, they spread malware, they exploit the system. They are also called cracker. Then we have white hat. White hat means ethical hacker. They test system legally. They fix the flaw. They are part of the security team like the red or tiger team. Then we have grey hat. So grey hat operate in the grey area. They hack without permission but don't harm, sometimes reporting flaw for reward or discovering the zero-day exploit. So remember the keywords. White hat are the ethical hacker who improve security and fix vulnerable. Black hat are the malicious hacker who exploit the system and steal data. Grey hat operate in between. They may hack without permission but not always cause harm. Then we talked about the other hacker type, right? Other hacker type include blue hat. Blue hat means what? They are security tester. They are hackers seeking revenge. Then we have botnet hacker, means controlled infected device to spread malware or launch attack. Purple hat. Purple hat hack their own system to learn skill in a controlled environment. So the core categories are white, black and grey. Ethical hacker strengthens security while malicious hacker pose major risk. So remember the key points. White hat, ethical, protect. Black hat, malicious, exploit. Grey hat, unauthorized, sometimes harmless. Other type exist but main focus is intent, right? Now friends, let's talk about the specialized hacker types. So friends, that hacking comes in many flavors beyond the usual white, black and grey. A specialized hacker type include cryptojacker, right? So we have some important types like red hat, green hat, hacktivist. So friends, cyber threat are not just from basic hacker. They are advanced specialists also, like cryptojacker. They secretly use your device to mine cryptocurrency without your knowledge. Crypto hacker. They steal or they manipulate cryptocurrency and blockchain system for financial gain. Then malicious insider. So these are the employees who leak data or sabotage network out of revenge, money or personal motive. Then we have cyber terrorist. So these are the hackers driven by ideology. They disrupt infrastructure. They spread the fear or propaganda. Then we have some elite hacker. They are highly skilled expert who can create or prevent attack and save the cyber landscape. So the key takeaway is that financial gain drive cryptojacker and crypto hacker. Revenge, chaos or power motivate insider and cyber terrorist. Elite hacker influence both security and cyber crime trend. So remember, cryptojacker are the secret crypto mining, right? Crypto hacker are they steal or manipulate crypto. Malicious insider, they take revenge or financial or personal motive. Cyber terrorists are the ideological hacker. Elite hacker, they save the cyber landscape. Now friends, let's talk about a strategic and targeted hacker. So first of all, we have gaming hacker. They steal game account, they steal the login credential and payment information. They often target professional e-sport player for prizes or financial gain. Then we have a state-sponsored hacker. So they are backed by the government. They perform cyber espionage, surveillance and attack on rival nation. So what we learn from here, that gaming hacker, they financial gain via e-sport. A state-sponsored hacker, they act like a digital soldier in geopolitical cyber conflict. So let's quickly recap the key point. We talked about the gaming hacker. They steal account and they steal payment. A state-sponsored hacker, these are the government-backed espionage and attack. Key point is that hacker can be specialized or the mission driven. Now protection. So friends, preventing fraud is not just luck. It's about a strong internal control. So the purpose of the internal control is to detect and to spot fraud early to reduce the losses. So types of the internal control that we have: preventive, detective and corrective. Preventive is stop fraud before it happen. Preventive control, they stop the fraud before it happen. Detective control is stop the fraud after it occur. And corrective control, fix the problem once detected. So preventive is stopping the fraud, detective is spot fraud after it occur, and corrective fix the problem. Let's talk about the risk assessment. So risk assessment include understanding the risk. You analyze the process, identify potential risk. You analyze the document using risk matrix. Then we have to rank the risk. Focus on high likelihood, high impact area. Implement control. Target critical risk with preventive, detective and corrective measures. Now the question is how to manage the risk. The goal is to achieve an acceptable level of residual risk after applying control. Use insight from assessment to design effective measures. So the key takeaway is that strong preventive, detective, corrective control plus risk assessment, when combined together, they give you fraud prevention and safer operation. Now preventive control, let's talk about it. So when it comes to fraud, prevention is better and cheaper than recovery. So what are the key preventive control? Like segregation of duties. Don't let one person handle the entire process. Like cash handling and recording should be separate. IT access and password. Apply the principle of least privilege. What does this principle say? That employee get access only to what they need. That's it. Then physical asset protection. So restrict sensitive area based on role to avoid unauthorized access. Then we have testing and training. Regular employee training and test ensure control are effective and everyone stay alert. So the key takeaway is that stop fraud before it starts with proper segregation, secure access, asset protection and employee awareness. Then we have enhancing security and detective control. Preventive measures are great, but sometimes fraud still happen. That is where detective control comes into picture. So the key security tools measures we have. First one is the firewall. It protects the system from external threat and cyber attack. Right, that is firewall. Regular backup. It prevents data loss and it enables recovery if something goes wrong. Detective control. Spot fraud when prevention fails and reduce the damage. Then we have physical inventory check. Means compare recorded stock with the actual item. Then we have account reconciliation. Aligning ledger with supporting record and investigate the discrepancies. Ongoing review and control assessment. Analyze failure, find weak control, prevent recurrence. So the key takeaway is combine a strong security tool, regular check, continuous review to detect fraud early and minimize the loss. Now friends, stopping fraud is not enough. You also need to fix issues and prevent them from happening again. So what are the corrective control? Like act post fraud, which means strengthen control to prevent the recurrence. Then disciplinary action. Penalize fraudster and train employee to correct the mistakes. Software patches and update. Fix IT vulnerabilities to stop hacker from exploiting them. Ethical leadership. Lead by example and reinforce integrity across the organization. Then we have encryption and decryption. Encryption means convert readable data into coded form, that is called ciphertext, to protect email, banking information and the network. That is called encryption. So whatever readable data you have to convert that into coded form. That is called ciphertext. Why? To protect the mail, banking information and network. Then we have symmetric encryption. So use a single shared key, fast but key must be secure. That is called symmetric encryption. Then we have asymmetric encryption. Uses public key for encryption, private key for decryption. These are stronger and safer. That is called asymmetric encryption. So symmetric means single shared key, fast but key must be secure. Asymmetric means public key for encryption, right? Private key for decryption, stronger and safer. So corrective control plus ethical leadership plus encryption, it ensures safer system and reduce fraud risk. Then we have the decryption. Decryption convert coded data, that is ciphertext, back to the readable form, that is the plain text, using the correct key. So using decryption you can convert the ciphertext back into plain text using the correct key. Then we have password recovery. So retrieve lost or forgotten credential. Data access and analysis. So open encrypted file securely. Then we have file restoration, which means recover the corrupted or damaged data. Authorize access, which means that remove security restrictions safely for permitted user. Now the question is, why encryption matter? Because it helps to protect the sensitive data. So it acts like a secure vault, only authorized user can access to it. Then it ensures privacy and security. It safeguards personal, financial, business information, which is quite essential for secure communication, banking and online transaction. So encryption plus decryption, it ensures data safety, privacy and secure digital operation. Let's talk about the difference between encryption and decryption. Encryption turns the readable data, that is plain text data, into coded form, that is called ciphertext. So turning the plain text to ciphertext or readable data into coded form to protect it, this is done by sending using key, right? That is called encrypted data. What is decryption? Decryption means you convert the ciphertext back to the readable form, that is a plain text. For authorized user, this is done by the receiver. So remember, encryption turns readable data into coded form to protect it, done by the sender using the key, and decryption convert the ciphertext back to the readable form for the authorized user, done by the receiver. Now let's talk about the internal control purpose. To prevent and detect fraud early, to reduce the loss. That is the purpose of the internal control. Types of internal control. First is called preventive. Preventive is stop fraud before it happens. Second is called detective, identify fraud after it occurs. Third is called corrective, fix and address the detected fraud. So these are the three kinds of internal control: preventive, detective and corrective. Preventive is stop fraud before it happens, detective is identify fraud after it occurs, and corrective you fix and address the detected fraud. What are the risk assessment steps? First of all, we need to understand the risk. Identify the potential fraud risk using the risk matrix. So we have a risk matrix using which we can identify the potential fraud risk. Then we have to rank the risk, means prioritize based on likelihood and their impact. And we have to implement the control, means design preventive, detective, corrective measure targeting critical risk. So we know encryption plus description, decryption plus strong internal control, all these things combined together help in fraud prevention, data safety and secure operation. Now friends, preventing fraud is always cheaper and smarter than fixing the loss. So managing the residual risk, reduce risk to a manageable level after applying the control. Use risk assessment insight to design the effective measures. Now we know that this thing is very very important, that prevention over recovery, like preventing fraud cheaper than recovery, right? So that is a very basic thing. Now segregation of duties, don't let one person control the entire process, like cash handling versus record keeping. I think we have discussed it already. Now firewall, firewall shields your system from external threat. Even the best preventive measure cannot stop all the fraud. That's why detective control is necessary. That is the role of the detective control, where firewall plays a very important role. They shield your system from external threat. Backup prevent data loss and help recover quickly if things goes wrong. Now the question is, why detective control matter? Because it can catch fraud early when prevention fail, right? It minimize damage and losses. So what are the key detective measures? Like physical inventory check, compare recorded stock with the actual item, account reconciliation, align ledger with supportive record and investigate the discrepancies, and ongoing review and control assessment. Learn from the past failure, identify the weak point and prevent the recurrence. So we should combine firewall, backup, detective check to detect fraud early and protect your business. Now encryption, decryption, I think we have discussed it. There are the different types of it: symmetric, asymmetric. Let's discuss that also. So friends, in digital world, data security is everything, and that is where encryption and decryption comes into picture. Encryption convert the readable data into coded form, that is plain text into cipher text that the outsider cannot read. They protect the email, document, banking information and network. Now we have symmetric. Symmetric means uses a single key. It is faster, but key must stay secure. What is asymmetric? Asymmetric use the public and private key, which is stronger and safer. So symmetric means single key, faster, and the key must stay secure, and asymmetric use public and private key is stronger and safer. So I hope there are two types of encryption: symmetric and asymmetric. Symmetric use single key and asymmetric use public and private key. Symmetric is faster but key must stay secure, and asymmetric they are stronger and safer. What is decryption? Decryption convert the coded data back to the readable form using the correct key and the password. So it convert the coded data back to the readable form, right? So application include password recovery, secure data access, file restoration and authorized removal of the restriction. So remember, encryption keep your data confidential and decryption let authorized user access it safely, right? Decryption let the authorized user access it safely, which convert the data back to the readable form using correct key and password. Now importance of encryption and decryption. In today's digital world, keeping information safe is non-negotiable. That is where encryption and decryption matter. It protects the sensitive information. Only authorized user can access the data. It acts like a secure vault against hacker or outsider. It ensures data privacy and security, like protect the personal, financial and business information. It is very essential for secure communication, online banking and transaction. And it prevents unauthorized access. So I told you several times that encryption convert the plain text into cipher text to block the outsider, and decryption convert coded data back to the readable form for the authorized user. So encryption ensures confidentiality and decryption includes the secure access. Together they protect the digital communication and transaction. Now let's look at the cyber incident and reporting. Cyber incident can strike anytime, affecting system. So yes, I'm talking about cyber incidents. They can strike anytime, affecting system, network and data. Reporting them promptly is the key to staying safe. Now the question is, why reporting matter? So identifies securities breaches quickly. It helps analyze vulnerabilities and improve safety measures. So what are the key elements of cyber incident report? So first of all, accurate description, which means detail of the attack, sources, affected data, everything should be accurately described. Then failed security measure, highlight what did not work. Post attack action means countermeasures and the corrective step which we have taken. System weakness analysis, like identify the gaps to prevent future incident. And financial impact documentation, record preventive cost, compensation, revenue loss from the service disruption. So we should reporting cyber incidents include transparency, strengthen security, and prevent the repeated attack. So, right. Then we have cyber crime investigation. So you should identify, analyze, mitigate the cyber threat. We should target hacking, phishing, malware, identity theft. What is the role of investigator? They conduct in-depth probes and preserve the digital evidence. So what are the tools? Like evidence gathering, which includes some technical method as well as the non-technical method. Digital forensic, which help in recovering the deleted file and analyze the metadata. Network log, it examines the suspicious activity. What are the tools used? Like in-case, FTK, autopsy for data analysis. So that is all we have to go through in the module A and module B. If you think that this video was useful for your knowledge purpose, please hit that like button. Share with your other aspirants who are preparing for this cyber crime and fraud